So is your child's stuffed animal toxic? Yeah, probably. But it's also not the biggest exposure. Let's talk about the toxicity of stuffed animals, and then I'm going to show you some really good options for plastic-free stuffed animals. So straight off the bat, I just want to say this is not your biggest exposure source for toxic chemicals for kids. So over 75% of the toxic chemicals that your children are going to ingest is going to be through their diet. So a stuffed animal is really going to be a very tiny source. However, the outside of a stuffed animal is unequivocally going to be polyester, which is polyethylene terephthalate. And we know that polyethylene terephthalate has 806 chemicals in it that are hazardous to human health. Okay. Real risk here are the microplastics and harmful chemicals that will be leaching out into the air near where your child is sleeping. Okay. So there was one study that found that children's bedrooms are responsible for 60% of the daily inhaled dose of air pollutants. Okay. They found that SVOCs, including phthalates, stain repellents, and flame retardants, those were frequently found in materials in children's sleeping areas, such as toys and mattresses. And they say we recommend minimizing the number of items in a child's bed, as we found correlations between the presence of bedding items, toys, mattress protectors with concentrations of certain flame retardants and phthalates. Polyester microplastics, when we breathe them in, that is linked to worsened respiratory illnesses. There was a study recently where the amount of microplastics in people's lungs was directly correlated to the severity of pneumonia that people had. So all that being said, again, this is not the biggest source. Every single pediatrician out there is going to recommend that you try and clear a child's sleeping area regardless. If you have like polyester stuffed animals, like everybody does, try and keep a lot of them out of their sleeping area in their bed, right? Maybe limit it to just one. Try and see if maybe they can like have it on a side table so it's not like right up against their face. However, there are stuffed animals out there that aren't filled with polyfill, and there's some really cute ones. Mind you, this is a category where I feel like I wish there was easier options. A lot of these are adorable, but like they're pretty ridiculously expensive. Some of these were like $70 for a stuffed animal, and all of them look a little bit like sad beige Werner Herzog, like, you know what I'm saying? Depression, Dust Bowl baby going on, right? However, there are some really adorable, like chubby alpacas. Hello. But don't feel bad if your child has like regular polyester stuffed animals. Just try and keep them out of their sleeping area and try and limit the amount just in their bedroom overall. And certainly you want to definitely increase the amount of ventilation in your children's room. If you can get an air purifier, amazing. If not, no biggie. Just try and open their window, crack it at least to make sure they're getting a lot of ventilation, especially while they're sleeping, and try and minimize the amount of plastic in your child's room just in general.